Hello everyone, Benris here. Total War Warhammer 3 release is very near, so I thought that it is a good time to talk about things I would like to see in the game. Some sort of a wish list, if you can call it. Features and improvements that can give us a way better experience with this final installment to the Warhammer trilogy that everyone is waiting for. Today, I will be focusing on my main modding wishes, main features for modding that would really help me and many others that will spend the majority of their time with the game on modding. But before we start, let's hear a word from this video's sponsor. Ace Defenders is a high-quality combination of turn-based RPG with tower defense elements. Game has over 40 chapters, nearly 2000 levels, and 48 heroes with their own lore and background. Like in RPG games, you can combine heroes and equip gear to create your own lineup. Game has PvE mode being classic tower defense and PvP mode being arena-based player versus player experience. Ace Defenders also have gameplay speed setting, that one is very helpful. Game is receiving a big expansion-like update soon called Realm of Deities, where you can build your castle, develop technology and train soldiers to conquer the cities for endless treasures. On the Realm of Deities map, you can defeat all kinds of monsters and get rewards, fight together with your allies, gain more powerful for your heroes through the magical research. Game also just received a new hero, Brenda the Demon Spear, with the ability to deal massive damage in both PvE and PvP battles, limiting her opponent's damage and recovering health on her own. New users who download the game from the link will get 10 Royal Recruit tickets after completing Chapter 2, Level 8. You can use the tickets by clicking Sky City Tavern and Recruit 10. All needed info can be found in the pinned comment below.
The power dictates the rules.
Autoresolve is the first point on this list. Why Autoresolve, you will ask? Because right now, in terms of modding, we as modders are not able to change a lot in Autoresolve. Of course, we can change stuff like, let's say, bonus when you are defending a settlement or attacking a settlement, values for ladders, siege engines, things like that. But the biggest problem right now in the game is values of a specific faction. So let's say I would like to tame dwarves Autoresolve a little against a faction X or faction Y. Right now it's not possible. Not in the conventional way, I would say, because I'm able to do it by adding secret abilities. What are the secret abilities? This is like an ability that is totally hidden in the game. You cannot see it, it doesn't have any values, but every ability on every unit is increasing the unit Autoresolve value. So we are adding such abilities hidden to a set faction, let's say Skaven in SFO for example, and it increasing the overall Autoresolve value of a faction by around 20%. It's a very rough solution, but it's working right now. It would be perfect if we as modders had a way better and bigger control over modding Autoresolve. Another point that I would love to see in Total War Warhammer 3 modding is in-battle mechanics. What are those? We had such as things since Warhammer 2, and example of them are Rooms of Souls for Tomb Kings or a Warg mechanic for Greenskins. Creative Assembly said that those mechanics will be more moddable in Warhammer 3, but I would love to see a full control over it, like totally full control of it, to the point that we can make our own in-battle mechanics. For example, we have a mechanic that is like Murderous Prowess for Dark Elves. It's not the best mechanic, let's face it. It would be great if we could change it that a set amount of killed units in the battle allows us to use a specific army abilities or just army-wide buffs when we want. Let's say if you kill 250 units, you are allowed to increase leadership of our units for 60 seconds, etc. Not like it is right now, that it fills and it activates. Having more control over it and allowing everyone to make such abilities in battles would be fantastic in terms of modding. Difficulty setting in battles is another thing that I would love to be able to mod much more. Right now, difficulty can set values for a player and AI, but only a set value. So things like charge bonus, melee attack, melee damage, melee defense, and missile reload time. Also morale, I forget about this, but yeah, morale is also a thing. So I personally would love to have more ways to add here. Why there are no resistances here, why there is no speed, things like that. Because the biggest problem right now in the game is the fact that on higher difficulty levels, higher battle difficulty levels, melee is becoming absolute. Why? Because AI is getting so absurd melee attack and damage defense bonuses that only using range units is viable. So a way to mod it, giving us more options to make more even funny scenarios for sub mods or just a funny mods, as I said, would be fantastic. Attributes and flags are another thing that I would love to see in Warhammer 3 modding. What are the attributes? Attributes are like immune to psychology, defense against large, cause terror, etc. Right now in the game, we can mod those only by a very little. For example, cause terror can be changed values, how much leadership is lowering or how much range it is. But we are not able to make new attributes or edit 99% of them, which is a great shame. And it moves to the another point of flags. What are the flags? In the game, all abilities have flags. Flags indicate when ability is working or when it's not working, when it triggers or when it did not trigger. You have flags like under 50% health, under 25% health, etc, etc. Of course, in the spam of Warhammer 2, we receive tons of great flags, but we could have more such flags. For example, flags like melee infantry. If we could have such a flag, we can make an ability that would be working only on melee infantry in battle. That would be fantastic. Or also things like it lowers melee defense for all missile infantry or cavalry, and you can have a specific abilities in battle to aim at specific units using those new flags. So again, a thing that I would love to see in modding. Unique resources. And you'll be asking like, Venris, but we have unique resources since Warhammer 1, and yeah, I agree. But there is one particular problem with the unique resources, and several, to be honest. First, you can have only one visible unique resources on the top bar, like here, for example, you can see Tomb King's unique resources, and you can have only this one unique resources on the top bar per culture. What are the culture in the game? You can call it a race. Like all Tomb Kings are all one culture, or Empire factions are one culture, etc. And you can only have this one unique resource per whole culture. So if we have, let's say, those jars for all the Tomb Kings, but I want to make that the Ketep have a different pooled resources, unique resources on the top. No, game won't allow it to. You can only have one on top per whole culture. We have a different example. In Forest Caven in SFO, we have a unique resource for a quick, and right now it's on the top bar. But if I would like to have a scroll unique resource of the top bar, is no. You have whole culture or only one specific faction. Yes, it's very problematic. It's possible right now in modding to add those other resources on the top bar. Yeah, we also did it in a simple way. Vandy, a modder from modding, then made it in a more difficult way, but looking way better than our way. But still, it's a very hard to do and maintain. Having a unique resources, a way to add them to the top bar, next to each other, or at least more than one for the culture, yeah, it would open a lot of possibilities for us. Also, unique resources should have more uses. Right now, for example, you are not able to make that the buildings are costing unique resources. It was possible with Amber, you would ask, yeah? Because there was Amber in Warhammer 1 and for Wood Elves before the rework in Warhammer 2. But this whole mechanic, this whole section in game files was totally removed. So yeah, having a unique resources possible on the top bar for more factions visible and with more users of it, even make it like a secondary goal, things like that for modders, great thing. Technology locking feature, yeah, this is a thing that when I started modding was really trying to do for a very long time until Warhammer 2 allowed us to do it, but in a very specific way again. Right now, the locking technology feature in SFO is working, I would call it a magic. Why? Because all technologies that are locking themselves, you have one technology and a second technology, you can pick only one of them, a second locks. I like choices, so I like such a things. Right now, all of those technologies have hidden resource on them. Those are hidden resource cost. And if when you're starting the game, your faction are getting 1 point of this hidden resource, and each of those technology require one of those points. You're getting the point. You can only research one because you don't have this resource for the second one. It's a modding magic. It's not perfectly visible, etc. And allowing us modders and adding it to the game itself, the locking mechanic for the technology, such a feature would be great. As we are talking about branching and locking right now, it's a good moment to talk about building choices. I think that it is in Total War series for quite some time and was in some games. Total War 3 Kingdoms had this feature when you're building a specific chain, you can branch it. So going in a more direct way and giving you different bonuses depending on your choices. For example, you can have a farm that is generating more growth or generating more gold. This is a simple example, but right now in the game, same with technology locking, it is possible, but it's ugly way because you are making that, let's call it that both chains are using a same slot in a magical way of buildings in this province. So in a set province, you are allowed to make only one slot of farm, let's say, and you have two buildings that are using this slot. So you can pick only one of them and the second locks. Same as with technology locking, but it's possible, but it would be great if we had it more visually appealing like it is in Total War 3 Kingdoms. The last point on this list is a thing that won't happen for sure, sadly, but it's still a wish list, so why not talk about it? It's campaign map. A way to mod campaign map would be amazing. This would be like the best thing from this whole list. Not for me, to be honest, because I'm not a person that changes maps or making maps for battles, etc. But I know there are tons of talented people that could make this campaign map a bit better. We still don't know how exactly the Warhammer 3 map will be looking in terms of the mini campaign, Vortex, let's call it a main campaign, but I really hate old world map for Warhammer 2, for example. I know it was edited a lot, was updated, etc., but I still think it's a very problematic map and needs more adjustment. Those are the things that modders could do fantastic. And I know that people all above would not be happy with it because it breaks terms of uses, but making maps like Middle Earth or other fantastic worlds or even mini campaigns with specific mods, yeah, that would be really great. So that would be all for today's wishlist video for modding in Total War Warhammer 3. Please tell me in the comments what would you like to see in terms of modding and adjustment for Total War Warhammer 3. And remember, if you like this video, click this like button, notification bell and subscribe. Also, all the donations and support on Patreon is allowing us to make this content. It's not a fantastic maybe content, but it's a content that I hope you like. Benris out.